via email to techsales.uk@vallourec.com. We hope you will get interesting information during this webinar. I give now the floor to Ezek. Thank you.
Thank you, Sungmin. Good morning, everyone. Thanks for the nice introduction. It would have been a pleasure to be live with you to discuss about CLEANWELL. Unfortunately, COVID made it not possible. But anyway, I believe we can still discuss about this deemed complex but actually interesting topic and product line here. Hope it would be somehow instructive to you and provide some clarity on this product line to all of you. Okay. Quick agenda about what we intended to present to you guys today. So we'll start with some general dope-free drivers, what we would expect from a dope-free solution and what we could effectively expect as a differentiator from CLEANWELL. Then brief comments about CLEANWELL today, what is the ultimate version, how the product line has evolved along the time and what we are deploying into the market right now. Third bullet point related to a brief overview of process route, what we consider in terms of CLEANWELL validation and how we make it, and some intrinsic advantages associated to our CLEANWELL solution, firstly compared to dope, a standard solution, then with some other dope-free products found on the market as well. Fourth, and maybe the most interesting topic here would be the presentation of CLEANWELL associated benefits and a presentation of a case study example based on rough premises that we'll be able to share with you. And final stages of this presentation dedicated to present CLEANWELL offer, what connections we have already validated and what are the plans to move on, and some customer feedbacks, positive stakes we got from the market, and a bit of our track records and what is to come soon. Okay. So starting by dope-free benefits, we would divide those benefits into four main categories. So safety, environment, operational efficiency, and easiness to use. Starting by safety, main benefits would be related to less contacts along all supply chain management by using a dope-free solution, since we would expect less handling, reduced frequency of inspections required along the supply chain and so on. As well, no dope extrusion or dirty work environment would be expected in a dope-free solution. And on top of that, in terms of CLEANWELL itself, we need to highlight that it is a solution free of CMR compounds, thus reducing at all your risk exposure during operation and the contact with dangerous chemicals. Okay. In terms of environment, there is no discharge, as the name says. Thus, no danger to wellbore and its associated environment. Solutions are normally complied to standard regulations, and in talking specifically about CLEANWELL, it is fully compliant to North Sea regulations. Operationally wise, maybe the main topics to address would be rig operational improvement by decreasing backout and reject rates and avoiding unplanned issues and well interventions possibly associated to dope interaction with equipments and wellbore itself. Okay. Last but not least, we would expect that a dope-free solution associated to a premium connection would be easy to use, and effectively it is what the CLEANWELL provides. So it provides a faster inspection and cleaning activity, either onshore and on the rig if needed. no mistake of what kind of dope we intend to use, no limitation in terms of operation temperature, so no freezing nor melting of its components are expected. And last topic, but also an important one, it's extended storage time for more than 3 years, validated in lab tests and outdoor exposure environment, as we'll talk later on. Okay. So going for a CLEANWELL product line evolution, CLEANWELL product line has today roughly 20 years since its first version deployment. Since then, VAM is putting its efforts to improve their products, aiming to bring more and more customer-oriented solutions. Our first CLEANWELL versions were semi-dry, both shown on the left side of the presentation, so CLEANWELL 1 and CLEANWELL 2. They were also known as CLEANWELL 0. They were semi-dry, manually applied, and with a limited storage resistance due to its nature. Then main improvement was to move to dry versions, which have been upgraded along the time to increase anti-corrosion resistance, product robustness in storage and during the operation itself. So recently, Vallourec has decided to migrate from the well-known CLEANWELL Dry 2 solution to its latest version, which is called now only CLEANWELL. This is still a dry version as the previous one, the CLEANWELL Dry 2, but brings now some important features that enable us enlarging our validated product line, target new connection validations due to this new coating and robust combination of layers. So what is effectively changing from CLEANWELL Dry 2 to CLEANWELL? Actually, we are conserving here the metal plating on both pin and box ends. Thus, we are also conserving their anti-corrosion resistance on both ends as well. But we are now applying lubricant on pin and box, different than what we did previously on CLEANWELL Dry 2. So it remains a metal-plated assisted dope-free solution, technically more robust and resistant than a normal coating-like solution. Okay. The specific layer dedicated to provide lubrication has been substituted from a dry wax type in CLEANWELL Dry 2 to a polymeric thermoset paint in CLEANWELL now, which is automatically applied on our CLEANWELL production line. So basically, behind this change, the thermoset paint enabled targeting different connections, as explained before, with different designs, different interferences, due to its stability and robustness compared to a wax-based solution. So now we are capable to deploy our dope-free on high torque connections such as VAM HTTC, and also on integral connections, which by nature tend to present different interface distribution than conventional TNCs. Thus, it would maybe require a more robust dope-free solution, which would allow keeping the same performances targeted on the regional product. It is effectively the case now. Okay, so all this came to reinforce VAM and Vallourec commitment to our continuous improvement while maintaining our customer focus and provided value to you guys, always targeting the best-in-class performance and reliability for your operations. Okay. Of CLEANWELL process, here it's an overview of pin and application process, but a similar process can be expected on couplings, since both ends would present now the same coating structure as mentioned before. So after being threaded, pipes are sent to the CLEANWELL line. They are then cleaned and sandblasted, electroetched to remove all impurities. then we could start the metal plating deposition through a dedicated sealed cell. Okay, once metal plated, those ends are then passivated and dried. And upon verifying its conformity, they could now move to the spray unit, which will then apply the thermoset coating. A final quick curing step is needed and provided just to speed up painting drying, and then pipes are finally cooled down, inspected once again, and sent to be made up on couplings which have passed basically by the same process. Okay. Some more details now about CLEANWELL intrinsic benefits, and maybe the first one to be highlighted would be its value associated to the metal plating process. CLEANWELL is thought today to be the unique solution on the market benefiting from such kind of process, which is well known as the best one to avoid corrosion during storage, rig operation, and even within a well environment. So it presents a zinc nickel layer, which acts as a cathodic protection, thus preserving the substrate to corrode, basically. The anti-corrosion performance has been extensively validated through laboratory tests, such as thermal shocks, layer adherence tests, salt spray tests simulating several environment changes, and so on. But on top of that, real exposure tests came to prove that on different weather locations, both with and without connection protectors, CLEANWELL exposure would be validated, and it would be okay to leave pipes for more than 3 years exposed with no signs of corrosion. This is effectively what we could see on the graph at the bottom middle of the presentation, and on the exposed connection on the bottom right side. Normally harder than base material, this metal plating layer provides kind of resistance to mechanical damage as well. So there is no exposure of substrate upon mechanical shocks, no expected corrosion of such substrate as well. And ultimately, it assures a safe connection exposure all along the supply chain and related activities, as just mentioned before. Another important differentiator from CLEANWELL latest version is related to its deep and extensive connection validation plan. As we know, ISO and API norms, they don't clearly specify how to validate dope-free connection performances. Thus, it would be up to the manufacturer to determine the most critical combination of parameters, which would determine their specific validation approach. However, we know that customers may not be fully comfortable with so many parameters and different argumentations from one manufacturer to another. So what is important to remind here is that changing product features like thread surface treatment, machining tolerances, and or friction factors could substantially impact anti-gully and salability performance. Thus, we cannot allow or attest that a standard dope test can be solely used to validate a dope-free connection. What we do from our side, so VAM, we take an approach even more critical and safe than what the norms expect us to do. So we clearly determine criticality boundaries through numerical and analytical simulations for each product line. Then, having these boundaries defined, we put in place a complete testing plan aiming to assess sellability and anti-gulling behavior, both for a full CLEANWELL system. It means a pin CLEANWELL coupled with a box CLEANWELL, and for a combined CLEANWELL plus dope system. It means one end in CLEANWELL and another end in dope. Both would need to present similar performance. so that we could attest that all the string performance would be assured, no matter what we are making up with what. Just for the sake of information, for only one type of connection, only one product line, like VAN21, based on such described strategy, we have performed more than 20 API call-for tests. It's important to mention that maybe one API call-for test is resource consuming. It may last from 1 to 2 or 3 months up to its completion. So this is just to mention and to reinforce our commitment to attested performances and operational trust we aim at bringing to you. In a more general overview, actually, CLEANWELL benefits are broader and larger than that, being noticed all along the supply chain and not only before that. So manufacturing-wise, CLEANWELL layers are well controlled in terms of its application, and they are thought to be homogeneous from one pipe to another, from one production batch to another. As already stated before, stock management is made easy due to increased corrosion resistance, decreasing as well the necessity to perform several periodic inspections when pipes are left in stock. And rig prep, rig return steps are also easier, cleaner due to the absence of dope. Faster protector and connection cleaning are also noticed here. And we would also highlight the absence of waste disposal, which could represent again a possible problem to an end user. However, it's probably on rig operation where we notice the main remarkable gains by using CLEANWELL. So it serves as a rig automation enabler, reducing makeup issues, and provides at the end consistently faster running time when comparing to standard dope operation. Okay, so in terms of both and average KPIs, what we would highlight is the probable absence of rejects and unplanned cleaning jobs caused by dope complications, as well as an increasing on running KPIs and decreasing its time by 20% in average. So all this would make possible to conclude that CLEANWELL is capable to save roughly 10%, if not more, of your total pipe cost when it is in place. Last but not least, we cannot forget to talk about safety and environment. These are quite difficult to quantify in terms of KPIs. However, we know that CLEANWELL would act as well to reduce exposure to risk, since it reduces pipe handling and direct contact with pipe and thread compound, as mentioned before. And additionally, it eliminates well formation impacts caused by dope and saving energy and efforts linked to waste treatment. So all this would act to complete the broad range of benefits possibly associated to our dope-free solution. So just aiming to illustrate here one of main important advantages of using CLEANWELL, we may present to you some running statistics when CLEANWELL is in place. Here we are just presenting a recent comparison made from Chromium runnings at the same operator, same type of rig, same type of equipment. So only difference here would be conventional dope pipes against CLEANWELL pipes, same environment. And what we can clearly see here is that rejects are consistently reduced by a factor of 50% or even more, depending on rig crew knowledge and ability to run a dope-free solution. Okay, so in terms of remakeups, they are not shown here, but we may expect kind of the same trend and same reduction. Again, once rig crew is then comfortable with CLEANWELL, since at the beginning there may be a normal strangeness when using connections without dope application at rig site, but graph stability and continuous behavior may assure makeup KPIs are consistently improved when CLEANWELL is in place. It would then be possible to think about a generic case study where we could try to identify potential savings provided by CLEANWELL along its usage within some different well phases. So here we are comparing CLEANWELL used from intermediate casings up to completion phase. So it would be a kind of standard CLEANWELL well design ranging from 13.38, 10.75, 9.58, passing by a 7-inch liner and a 5.5 chromium completion, which would, for the purpose of this exercise, cost in overall $2 million as total pipe cost. Okay, considering its cost on standard dope supplied product. So some generic premises were taken as well. So we considered a rig daily rate of $300,000 to $300,000 per day. Casing running in triple stand, the running hole being 20% faster due to CLEANWELL usage, less makeups and 50% less rejects due to the dope-free being in place as well. So the intention here would not to detail all such premises, all the calculation. For sure, we could make it adapted to each one of your wells and your specific environment if needed. We can make it afterwards. But in overall, this would be a kind of split of savings commonly expected when CLEANWELL is used. So in terms of triple stand and triple stand building, gains are not accounted directly as savings since they are not on rig critical path, but we may as well consider almost 1 day of rig saved upon all makeups on all related phases above. But when we go to consider firm operational savings, we may achieve something in the range of $150 kilodollars per well in honey roll time improvement. This combined with something in the range of $25 kilodollars provided by reduced backout, reject rates, and all associated costs to repair such rejects. Plus $100 kilodollars of avoided unplanned stoppages and cleaning operations due to dope. All this makes us conclude that we may save more than 10% of total pipe cost per well, or maybe more than 300 kilodollars comparable to one day of rig. So if we just split it by the number of joints installed on the well, we would be talking about roughly more than $300 per joint, which is not neglectable. So again, figures can always be refined based on different and specific assumptions, but in overall, conclusion would likely be comparable and still very interesting economically wise. So once showing expected benefits, we may show as well where we can find CLEANWELL today, where it has been already deployed, what kind of connections are validated. So up to now, CLEANWELL is validated and available on TNC connections, such as 121 and VAM HTTC. In terms of 121, it has been fully validated as per API 5C5 2017 Call 4. Maybe the most stringent protocol known today. Main sizes are already validated and available to you guys from 3.5 to 14-inch on carbon steel, chromium, and CRA grades from 80 to 125 KSI. This would be the approach of the product line, but for sure, different and higher yield strength grades, high collapse, and special clearance options may be made available upon request based on knowledge gathered on the product line. VAM HTTC full product line also assessed and evaluated installability as per API 5C5 2017 or ISO 2002 Cal2. We have both type of tests present here. From 3.5 to 958, available on carbon steel and chromium grades. CRA validation is ongoing based on lately market demands. And we could then provide YS from 80 KSI up to 125 KSI here. Our next target to deploy CLEANWELL would be our newest premium integral connection, SLIJ3. It is now being assessed. First sizes should be validated by late this year, then allowing us to move to a larger validated domain in 2022 based on most requested sizes, okay? And later on, for sure, our intention is to keep deploying CLEANWELL on its most used premium products, expanding its usage worldwide. So coming to the last part of our presentation, we intend just to bring some positive feedbacks received from CLEANWELL users along the time. So here, two interesting and relevant feedbacks taken from North Sea operators, which highlighted the outstanding performance of the product. So they both run a 958 casing in quite challenging conditions, such as a triple stand or a mixed string. But so far we had no associated backouts, no rejects. On top of that, in one of the cases, despite not being the standard recommendation, pipes needed to be left triple standard without thread protectors for almost 3 months. And when there was the time of running, connections presented no sign of corrosion and could be run as they were, which avoided an extremely complex situation in case the string has been rejected and it needed to be replaced. So all this gives us the conclusion that CLEANWELL is fully capable to present excellent and most adapted conditions to a successful running, no matter the environment. Okay. In overall, all received feedbacks are positive, not only on North Sea environment, but also when used in some other parts of the globe. So customer representatives provided outstanding feedback, such as CLEANWELL contributing to most efficient runnings they have ever had, clear contributions to safety and environmental issues so far, recognizing CLEANWELL benefits along the supply chain. So several good feedbacks, but main message here is there is much more to come. CLEANWELL latest generation has just been implemented and it's been a success since then. So we aim and we expect actually gathering more and more positive feedbacks from you over your next operations. As important as talking about the product, we may talk as well as the possibility to count on our support all along your well definitions, technical issues, questions, and every single need where Vallourec may be supportive. So we have several skilled technical and commercial teams prepared to help you achieving the expected savings and objectives presented here, since this is what makes we achieve our objectives as well. Okay, so I would like at the end to thank you all for your attention, dedicated time to this webinar. Hope it could have been useful at some stage to you. And now we could maybe go to the Q&A sessions.
Thank you, Ezek, for the fruitful information on our latest CLEANWELL development. We have now around 25 minutes for questions, and we have received some questions already. Just for a reminder, yes, you can send the questions at the address of techsales.uk@vallourec.com. And I will start the question right now. So Ezek, the first question is, what is the availability on flush connection regarding CLEANWELL solution?
Okay, so CLEANWELL latest dry version is not available yet on Integros, as explained, but it is our main target effectively this year. VAM SLIJ3 will be the first one to count on it, our semi-flush newest connection, starting by main casing sizes and then moving roughly in 2022 to validate the full SLIJ3 product line. So other VAM integral premium connections are expected to come just after, like the Flush 1 connection, the VAMBO 2. But indeed, it is an ongoing work, and we hope make it available really soon to the market.
Okay. The next question is about what is the repair strategy in the North Sea related to CLEANWELL technology?
Well, okay, so let's divide it into roughly two type of repairs. So we have light repairs and heavy ones. In terms of light repairs, which are linked to some partial lubricant layer damage, or maybe more linked to connection visual aspect, those type of repairs can be managed through specific repair kits. They could be made available locally to support local activities, and they are applicable both to pin and box ends, following specific guidance to be provided by Vallourec or by our personnel. So there is no great concern. Just maybe being important to anticipate the quantity of such repairs, making sure that our departments, so VAN services, would manage to prepare those repair kits on time. Okay, these for light repairs. Heavy repairs, it means when connection is heavily damaged, impacting its performance, and thus we would need a new connection to be threaded. It is easily manageable for box end, since we can also provide loose couplings made with CLEANWELL, and then those loose couplings could be made up locally. For pins, there are some possible alternatives. Since CLEANWELL is fully compatible with dope, we could think about converting the pin into a standard dope configuration, which can then be made up normally into a CLEANWELL coupling. Or if not possible at all and nor accepted by the customer itself, if a CLEANWELL pin is really mandatory, we could think about using our facility in France to retread and reapply CLEANWELL on such pins. Important to remark that since it is prone to be a very low quantity, it should anyway be manageable by taking the most practical decision and just trying to anticipate it, just to make sure pipes will be available for the next one. But everything is feasible and capable to be done.
Okay. The next question is how much more lead time is needed for CLEANWELL compared to standard dope products?
Okay. So standard lead time associated to a CLEANWELL application process would range from 4 to 6 weeks roughly. So it would comprise all the process I described to you. So initial threading inspection, the cleaning, application of all the layers, and the quality checks afterward. Then it would just pass at the end of the process by a final marking and preparation to dispatch. So we are now actually counting on some recent process improvements. We have a new conditioning line, which makes us reducing some time at the very last process steps. So we are quite confident to assure and to commit with such 1 to 1.5 months of additional lead time compared to standard dope orders.
Next question is about the documentation. So it seems that some customers have difficulties to find the documentation related to CLEANWELL. Do you have any precision regarding this topic?
Okay, tricky question, but good one. Since we have been dealing with different CLEANWELL versions coexisting recently, so kind of open information used not to be that easy to find, I agree. But the intention was actually to limit confusion and troubles generated by a kind of misinterpretation. So the strategy has been always to recommend getting in contact with your direct local technical representative who would provide the suitable information. And now, by deploying this most recent version and by benefiting from some digital tools that are being developed by VAM, we will probably be capable to share some data in an easier way with final customers. So actually all the base work has been done. The database is prepared, and we just hope being able soon to give you access to CLEANWELL specific data through these tools like CDS generator, mixed store calculation, for example. First version of these tools is being now deployed. Unfortunately, not with CLEANWELL, but for sure, CLEANWELL inputs will probably be available by some time. We hope it being available by the end of this year. So in this meantime, the recommendation would be the same. It means keeping the close contact with your local representatives to gather the necessary information. But data availability is something we are really dedicating effort, and it tends to be clearly improved very soon.
Okay. Next question is regarding compatibility. Is there are between CLEANWELL different version compatible? And what are the compatibility rules to mix CLEANWELL and other CLEANWELL version, previous versions?
Okay, good, and also kind of tricky, but in a standard answer, even if you could check it on a case-by-case basis, based on each type of CLEANWELL applied on pin and box, we would usually take the safest position to state it is not compatible among the different versions. So what we reinforce is the compatibility of CLEANWELL end to dope end. And actually, we do this because, as explained during the presentation, we need to attest the same performances than a full CLEANWELL makeup. It means the compatibility case needs to be, from our perspective, extensively assessed and qualified as we have been doing by CLEANWELL. So that's why we'll push for this. We'll push for using CLEANWELL plus dope compatibility, which is where we have all the tests to attest the assembly performance. In this case, may some transition be needed, such as a crossover, for example. We could also support and help using such crossovers by Vallourec production itself. So it's just a matter of getting in contact with us, and we will provide you the best way to deal with this situation.
Okay. Next question is about production route. What are the plants which are capable to produce the CLEANWELL?
Okay. So today, and actually as established for past versions, CLEANWELL pipes, they are produced to serve the North Sea market at our facility here in France, located in north of France, actually. It is an integrated process between pipe threading and dope-free solution application. However, plants can come from different Vallourec mills worldwide. So being them here in France or South America, for example, just performing the final steps here at our French mill.
How long can CLEANWELL pipes be left out without connection protectors?
Okay, well, as presented, actually, even if it is not our recommendation, it's important to highlight. We have performed tests, and we have field experience that shows us pipes can resist to weather and outdoor exposure for several months, more than 2 or 3 years. For sure, we need to prevent them for shocks and strong external damage located on the connection. But looking only at its corrosion resistance ability, the metal plating layer effectively assists on avoiding corrosion to appear. Thus, it could enable pipes to be used without heavy repair before it's running, even if exposed for 2 or 3 years without this special care.
Okay. New question regarding the local repair. So is the new CLEANWELL product local repair process the same? How long is the curing time, and what is the availability of these repair kits?
Okay, so local repair, as explained before, we would go from a repair kit in case of light repair to heavy repair, being it a coupling replacement in case of the box, or a pin retreading in case of the pin, for sure. The process would likely be the same if we need to apply CLEANWELL on the pins or on the box, for example. It's just a matter of deciding what would be the next configuration we will aim for. The curing time is not that long. We would be talking about a few minutes when we apply the repair kits. If we are talking about a rig repair kit, for example, there is one dedicated to rig operation. We don't need to wait it to cure. We can just apply it and run the pipes. So it's quite easy to handle. And availability of repair kits, well, they can be made available in some weeks, maybe some few months, once highlighted to our specific department, VOM services. So we are fully prepared to bring these repair kits on site.
So what are the operational changes when running CLEANWELL compared to standard dope pipes?
Okay, so in terms of preparation at the rig site, we should expect a simpler final inspection before running if you compare it to dope. Since the CLEANWELL solution is visually simple to check, acceptance conditions are quite easy to identify. When for dope, it could be quite tricky. In terms of handling of pipes, they would be done in the same way than standard dope pipes when at rig, as well as same makeup equipment could be used. So we just need to respect CLEANWELL specific torque references. Okay, so the makeup itself would be, let's say, simpler than standard dope joints, since almost same graph behavior is expected no matter the grade behind it and all along the successive makeups. This is due to the, as explained, due to the metal plating system acting in the same way for all type of grades. Okay, so on top of that, graphs tends to be repeatable and consistent. It would reduce potential doubts about acceptance of a doubtful graph or not. This is a situation that may happen when we are running with dope. So in overall, all these factors would contribute to have a smooth and fast running in whole when CLEANWELL is in place.
Okay. Next question is regarding two type of materials. So one coupling two different materials. So for example, LAT and LAT13 chromium. Is there an assumption that the CLEANWELL coating will be excellent to avoid galvanic corrosion between the two materials?
Yes, good question. Considering that the question has been placed when L80 and 13 chromium present the CLEANWELL coated ends, yes, it would act to avoid galvanic corrosion, since we would be dealing with the same metal plating layer on both sides, no matter the grade behind it. So if we are considering a full assembly in CLEANWELL, there is no constraint or concern related to galvanic corrosion.
Next question is, would it be possible to coat a single box and a single pin of VAM tubing after the tubing has been sold and shipped to the customer? Meaning that the customer will send back to VAM.
Okay. Good question. Actually, we just need to manage it with our production team. It is feasible. It's just a matter of dedicating the line to perform it. But it's feasible. We can just set up the line to perform this coating. If it is intended, for example, to perform a trial or a demonstration for one of your products. We could discuss it in more details after the webinar, but yes, there's no constraint, let's say.
And it's regarding as well the pipe storage. So after leaving CLEANWELL coated pipe in the yard for over 3 years, is there any procedure to test whether the coating is still good?
Okay, good question as well. So we have a dedicated inspection procedure. It's not relating to number of months or years pipe have been left in stock, but actually it's a general guideline, visual guideline that provides us the rules to determine if a connection is still capable to be run or not. So for sure we will look at in details every thread, every part of the connection, sealing, shoulder, and so on. But we have dedicated and specific rules to state if this connection can be run as it is, or if it would need a kind of repair, as explained before.
Okay. So following the answer regarding the local repair process, the current local level repair process requires the lubricant added to cure for 40 hours for the previous version when it's below 20 degrees Celsius. So can you clarify this answer regarding the new repair process, especially on the rig with the new cleaner technology compared to the previous version, which was requesting more than 2 days?
Okay, we are maybe comparing the CLEANWELL, the latest CLEANWELL with CLEANWELL Dry 2. Yes, we made some improvements on repair for the newest version. Actually, I believe you are talking about repairs in yard, and the curing time. When I say it's prone to be a few minutes, is just because we can provide a kind of hair dryer or something to speed up the curing time for the CLEANWELL version now. So we don't need to wait that long to cure and to re-inspect the connection, for example. So based on tests and based on validations we performed here internally, we would state it would need just a few times to completely reapply the lubricant.
Okay. Next question is about what is the timeline to develop or qualify any specific product line in CLEANWELL?
Okay, so it strongly depends on the type of product and type of validation we are dealing with. So if it is a product line which already presents R&D data and the aim is just to add another different OD or different weight, for example. If you are talking about current ones, 121 or HTTC, it may just demand a simpler numerical analysis, and by confirming this new size is less critical than the existent ones, the validation could be granted fast, maybe 1 to 3 months. However, if we are talking about a completely new product, the timeline would certainly be a bit longer and could demand 6 months roughly. All this to consider the initial simulation to determine the product criticality, possibly tests, since we are talking about a completely new product, and all these tests launched to assure sellability and make and break performances. So let's talk about 6 months in overall. It would be a standard time to be considered.
Okay. Next question is about reliability. So how reliable is the product when you're rocking the casing when a well problem has been observed? So the question is it okay to break out and make up once or multiple times the same connection?
Yes, effectively. Actually, all the tests we have performed here, they have been put in place with the most critical combinations of tolerances. We have performed rig trials trying to assess harsh conditions when at the rig, for example, some misalignment, some contamination, and so far we haven't noticed rejects or breakouts associated to the CLEANWELL system. So I would say the system is really reliable, more reliable than DOPE for sure, and it is clearly able to resist multiple make and breaks, whether we are talking about casing or tubing sizes.
I think the next question is what is the additional cost for CLEANWELL solution compared to standard DOPE?
Ooh, well, there are many factors that could affect CLEANWELL cost. In overall, the added cost is reasonably offset by savings we aim at providing to end users. So that's why no matter the cost, it would make sense to spend or to invest more money on production steps, aiming to get it back later on. So I may not be the best person to provide a refined cost analysis, especially for a specific portfolio right now. But for sure, whoever sent this question, you can enter into contacts with our commercial team, which would be fully open to assess your specific portfolio to support and provide the suitable information.
We have still some question, but I think we will we will come back to you with the local referent. So I think we can close the webinar. So thank you, Ezek, again for your presentation. As we mentioned, this webinar has been recorded, and we will share you in a private link within this week. So thank you all for your participation, and we wish you a very good day. Ezek, yeah.
Thank you all for your attention and participation. Hope it could serve to clarify a bit your questions. Don't hesitate to get in contact. As Sungmin just said, we'll be fully open and available to support you guys. Have a nice day. Bye bye.
Thank you.